This is WT for TST, and tonight we're honoured to be joined by the Newquay bomb, Brad Pauls. How are you doing, mate?
All good. Thanks for having me, mate. Good to be here.
All right, mate. It's all right. Right. So, obviously, we talk on over Instagram and stuff, but first time on TST. So, as you probably know, we like to go into childhood, upbringing, what you like as a kid, any issues at school, etc., and then we go into your boxing later on. So, over to you, my friend. And you started your life in Newquay.
In Newquay, yeah. Very, very far away.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to stop you first. I love Cornwall, right? I've been once, yeah.
Where'd you go?
Well, Lizard Point.
I hadn't even been there.
It's right at the bottom, and there's a few beaches. The one I remember that's been the best was a place called Sennan Cove.
Beautiful,
mate. It was like we got there and it was right overcast, and then as we parked the car and walked down the beach, it was like Australia. Honestly, it was insane.
When it's sunny, you can't beat it. It's like a different country.
Mate, it certainly is. Anyway, sorry, I stopped you. Newquay.
That's all right. Newquay, yeah. Newquay, probably more famous for like surfing, parties, stag do's, hen do's, but no other boxers. I had to be different, didn't I? I had to go and be the odd one out. And so there wasn't just Cornwall in general, there wasn't a lot of opportunity. Sort of like being fit all season when I was an amateur and boxing the same lads 3 times because there's no one to box. I was in the back ass of nowhere, do you know what I mean? But everything for a reason. But it's a beautiful place to grow up. No knife crime really, like no stress like that. It's a safe, sort of good environment to grow up in. So yeah, I'm a lucky man.
So you're out on your bike as a kid and all that, yeah? Just whatever.
Just a little wayward child out and about and that, looking to have little scraps in the street because there was no boxing clubs until I was 10.
How was school for you?
Setup.
Were you a good kid? Were you a naughty kid?
I wasn't perfect, to be honest. I know it seems a bit cliche, like, I was in a bit of trouble before I found boxing, but I was probably on the wrong path, to be honest. I just loved fighting. Just loved it. And then when I found out about boxing, my head just went, I could do it and not get in trouble. Couldn't believe it. Still can't believe it. I get to fight another man, hurt him and not get in trouble. Pay me. It's amazing.
So let's say you found your boxing gym at 10, and then you started your amateur career. You had a decent one, didn't you?
I did. But I was amateur for 12 years. I had 56 fights, 144, quite a few knockouts, national title, box gold medal, ABA semi-final, Southern Counties champion, won the belt, defended it, boxed a few good lads, and all part of your apprenticeship, isn't it? You got to do it. That's how you learn. Yeah, it's good.
So you started pro 22, am I right?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, so 22. You've had now, 14 fights, 14 wins.
Yeah.
The interesting thing for me, though, is we talked about Cornwall a bit there before, but 8 of your fights have been at York Hall, which is a great place to box, great place to be.
Love it.
Do you see that as like your boxing home then?
Not really, to be honest. I feel like you get more opportunities in London, York Hall. Well, I will do, and I've done everything I can to build myself in this area, but nothing's the same as when I box down at the Southwest. Because to be honest, like for example, I'll be real. I box at York Hall. I'll sell 100 tickets if I'm lucky on a good one. I box in Southwest Plymouth, 280 I sold for my last fight. Plus, I had no tickets left, and it's all about the buzz and that. So I get more of a buzz in closer to home. But if I keep building myself, hopefully it'll be the same in York Hall. But so at the minute, I'm working on it.
They do travel for you though, your fans, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And it baffles me. Like I think if you come up from Newquay, that's a 5-hour drive, book your hotel, 5-hour drive back. So they're 300 quid in before, do you know what I mean? Just come to watch me box. And to get 100 people to do that's hard work. Do you know what I mean? It's hard having a birthday party and getting 10 people there. But then to get 100 people to come watch you box that far away, 5 hours away, it's hard.
But then now you live in Essex, yeah?
Yeah, so I live Essex, like right next to East London, so it's pretty close.
But what I guess where I'm going with that is, are you still selling tickets to your people that you knew from Cornwall rather than your new area?
Yeah, probably 90% back in Cornwall, and then a few workmates up here, a couple of mates I've made up here. I'll sell the tickets up here, but the bulk of them are still Cornish support, and they're all absolutely bonkers. Yeah, I remember when I had my first couple fights, and Steve, my manager, was like, "All your fans are really weird. Like they're really nuts. Like so they turned up just big night out for them. Do you know what I mean? Off their heads. It's well funny, but yeah, all from Cornwall, crazy people."
So, mate, when I was down there, it was lovely. You saw nobody. They were just dead pleasant, really like people keep themselves to themselves.
Yeah. I probably had a fight on. That's probably all up in London watching me, mate. So I had all the nice people left there.
So when you talk about being Cornish, you're proud of that. You tell us about when you won the Southern Area belt, because you made history, didn't you?
Yeah. That was probably highlighted my whole boxing career.
So far.
That's it. Yeah, more to come. Yeah, it was massive because for me, like growing up in Cornwall, and I was looking for other people to follow what like Cornish people have done in boxing. Zero, like it didn't exist. So when I won that, I feel like I've made a little bit of a path for anyone else who is going to turn pro in Cornwall or do well in boxing in Cornwall, because I had to just sort of guess. I didn't have one single person to follow. I had to guess, and then winning that was a bit of history. And then for any other little kid like me coming up, he might go, "Well, he did it," and that's how we did it. So and that's there forever. Do you know what I mean? And that was probably why it's the highlight. And I got a knockout as well, and I love that. So
does that kind of like, I don't know? Does that put you? I've obviously put Cornwall on the map in terms of boxing, but does that really motivate you to say, right, yeah, I was the first Southern Area champion from there. I'm going to be the first English champion. I'm going to be the first British. I'm going to be the first world champion.
Yeah.
Where's it ending? Do you know what I mean?
It's never been done. It adds a little bit of extra spice to it, don't it? And I'm not like cheesing that like I'm inspirational, but it's better for a kid looking up going, he won the British, the world title than the Southern Area. So the more I'm doing, the better it is for the next generation coming through Cornwall, do you know?
But you have a big issue, don't you, at the moment? You have one of your best mates, Linus, who I've talked to before. You two won't box each other, but you like following him through, aren't you? So you're waiting for him to get rid of the English so you can go for the English, yeah?
Yeah. So 1 sec. The battery on the laptop.
Just picking this back up with Brad Pauls. We were talking about your career and how you seem to be following Linus Udofia through.
Yeah. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time, as pros and cons. And like, where I've got someone like Linus in the gym with me day in, day out, you can't help but get better. He's very talented, you know what I mean? He's a class boxer and he's a gentleman. But then at the same time, I want exactly what he's got. We're both the same weight, same age. I want have exactly the same goals. So on one hand, where I like him and he's my mate, I'm really happy for him. The other hand, I want it for myself. Do you know what I mean? And if we're ever always in the gym together, and if there's any advice another one needs, always there to give it. He'll be like, this, even if it's not about boxing, about social media or about getting sponsors or about anything. We've been through the same stages pretty much at the same time. So it's going through it with someone else. It's made it a bit easier. But it's the cue. He just basically, he nipped in front of me when I had an injury. And then I've followed since. And that was in 2018, he nipped in front. And yeah, it's a blessing and a curse, but I'm happy for him. But my turn soon.
Follow him through, mate. So after you secured the title, you then boxed Robbie Chapman to retain your title. That was last November. That's a year, mate. So I know the world's gone nuts, mate. What's you're a year out. Does that affect your state of mind? Does that affect your preparations? How are you feeling?
Yeah, definitely. Like, obviously the motivation's the same, or probably more. It's probably more because you know how it feels not to have it. Like, you appreciate it more. Like, before when I was boxing, it was just, you were so used to it. I'd done it for years. And when you have it taken away, the ambition's so much more because you know it can just get taken away again. Yeah. So this time around, you better make the most of it because it can all get taken away just like that. Do you know what I mean? And I think a few different things. I think, like, say with selling tickets, I hadn't sold tickets for a year. I don't know, I have a clue how it would be if I sold tickets again. I could be good, I could be bad. I haven't made weight in a year. I might have filled out a bit more. All these questions you got to answer. So I think the year is going to affect everyone. I reckon some people will probably quit. Some people are going to come back better or who've put in the work when there's been lockdowns. Like I've been training. So I suppose you'll see when things go back to normal, but it's going to change everyone, definitely.
So what is next for you? Have you got anything in the pipeline or?
I spoke to Steve the other day and he was saying, and he's normally pretty spot on with his predictions and that, he was like, if they push the vaccine out and everything gets moving, it's probably 50-50 chance he might have a show in March maybe. And then if not, he's got a Plymouth show booked in May next year.
That's about a year and a half by then, isn't it?
I know, but he's very realistic. Like, he wouldn't gas you up and go, "Oh, it'll definitely be February next year," and it wouldn't. He would say it because he thinks it'll happen, which is good. But he said, "Nice little warm up on March show, get me back in. I've had a year out, then big fight in May," which sort of makes a lot more sense. Get rid of the ring rust first one, then big one the second one.
Do you believe in that? Do you believe in that ring rust? I've spoke to loads of boxers. Some believe in it. Some think it's a load of tosh.
Oh, definitely, 1,000,000%. It's not even just it's the going through a whole training camp and making weight. It's like anything. If you haven't done anything for a while, you do it. The more in sync you are, more you're used to doing it, you bet you are. So I think it's a perfect little tester, a little one back in March and then big one in May.
Yeah, good stuff, mate. And then on Friday night, I text you because I heard your name, and the commentary on BT Sport. Was it heavy-handed Brad Pauls? How did that make you feel when you saw that?
Good. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'd rather be fighting on the TV than just getting used in the commentary. You got to wait your turn. These things take time, yeah. But it was good. And obviously, I've had a few messages already, people doing polls on Instagram about me versus, and no disrespect, I can't say his name because I've only read it. Do you know how to say his name?
Who?
Black Thunder.
No, I can't say it. I was going to say it, but I don't understand. I can't pronounce it.
Black Thunder guy. Comparisons to him because obviously both stopped him in the 7th round.
Yeah.
And I spoke to Robbie as well, Chapman, and he said that would be a good fight, you two. And obviously he knows best. And I said, yeah, one for the future, 100%.
No, that's good, mate. And then I guess when we're talking about people's names, it wouldn't be right for us to probably do this without mentioning one man's name. Is all that calmed down now with Idris Virgo?
Yeah, he just got running, mate. He didn't want it. Like, there's nothing you could have done to make him fight me. Like, Steve offered him 125k for a 6-rounder. I don't think that's ever been made before. I don't know, but probably not.
Steve must have been confident, mate.
Proof of funds and all that. Steve's got all the money, like, no problem. And I said to Steve, I was like, right, get this fight. And he was like, right. And then after about a week of all the Idris saying he would stop me in 4 rounds and all these silly comments like that, and I was getting excited thinking he thinks he can beat me. And then Steve was like, I spoke to his manager and he was like, they'll never fight you. He was like, he boxes to get himself more Instagram followers. He does it for the gram. He'll only ever fight journeyman and he will never step up. And there's nothing we could have done to make him fight you. And then you think, don't he tarnish the name of boxers a little bit? Because he's not a real one. Do you know what I mean? When you think of a boxer, you think of a tough man who's going to fight anyone. And he's just a diluted plastic version of what a real fighter is. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit weak, and it's a bit embarrassing because he's.
Well, when you look at his record, he's not fought anyone with a victory on the record, has he? You know.
Yeah.
He's fighting people who go to lose.
That's it. Yeah, it's all a bit of an illusion, isn't it? People thinking he's half decent because he is shocking, mate, and he'll get chinned eventually. And eventually he'll end up getting chinned by a journeyman.
Well, I
predict it now. Eventually he will.
Part of when he was slagging you off on an interview somewhere, he started slagging Liam Williams off.
That was the one he threw the water. Yeah. Oh, mate. Embarrassing. Like, if you know boxing, you know you can't do these things. Like, respect to because he sat there, didn't he? He took it and he was just like, kept his cool. But it's just bullying, isn't it? It's picking on the weaker kids, thinking you're tough. Like, it's just bad morals and values, mate. Like, I don't like people like that.
So just to put an end to it, they never came back to Steve. They were never prepared to fight you, and that's it.
He won't do it no matter what.
All right. So the next bit was he said he was going to do you in 4 rounds, but I'll skip that bit off. Right. So we're pretty much done, mate, actually. But I would like to finish up is some followers and viewers send me some messages for you or for whoever I'm interviewing. Some of them are weird. Yours are all right. Right. So first one, Reese wants to know, you have a big Cornish following. Do you have any ambition to fight for a title in Cornwall?
I would absolutely love it more than anything in the world, but we've tried it and the board rejected it because it's like basically there's not a hospital close enough that deals with the brain. It has to be within an hour, and all the venues we picked are an hour and 10 minutes because I think I'd sell quite a few tickets there. Board rejected it, killed it off, broke my heart. I was absolutely gutted, but hopefully if something changes.
Build a hospital near you,
yeah, sort that out. NHS.
What is the nearest like big following then? Would it be Exeter, Plymouth?
Plymouth's the closest. Yeah. And the hospital's in Plymouth.
Right.
Newquay's like an hour and 10 away, so it's tough.
Yeah. Right, next one, Jay. A lot of up and coming boxers have a job alongside boxing. Do you? And if so, what do you do?
Before COVID, I did a bit of PT. At the minute, I work with special needs kids in a school. It's quite challenging. A lot of bad behaviour, lashing out, things like that. But the boxing's come in handy because I'm dodging their punches and they're trying to beat me up.
Do they know you're a boxer?
Some of them do, yeah. And some of them like take a liking to me. And then I think a few of the others try to prove something and try attack me. But it's all part of the job. It's been very humbling. But you got to do what you got to do till the boxing's back. So.
Right. Danny wants to know, do you watch I'm a Celebrity? And if you do, did you see last night where we saw Jordan talk about his happy place? Where's your happy place?
I don't watch it. I'm not big on like reality TV and stuff. Sorry. I was in the gym. Sorry, I couldn't make it. I was in the gym. But happy place. I've got to say Cornwall, mate. Do you know what I mean? On the beach, feeling that sun on you, hearing the waves and that. So in your hands. Life's good.
This guy last night, right? He was in I'll tell you because I like reality telly.
Well.
He was in a tomb thing, right, with loads of snakes, and he was going, "Take me to my happy place," and he kept saying Turf Moor, which I don't know if you're a football fan, but Burnley. Yeah. I don't know how that can be anyone's happy place.
Peace around.
We'll leave it there. And the last question, mate, comes to you from a girl called Emma. I've now blocked her because she keeps just messaging all the time with the same question for everybody. Top 3 chocolate bars.
Oh, great question.
Ooh.
What a question that is. Well, I'm trying to diet here, mate. Top 3. So I'm going to go from the least favourite. Double Decker's good.
Double Decker. First time we've had that.
Can't go wrong. Second, such a big question. I'm going to go Snickers because it's just so reliable. It's very reliable.
That's a popular one.
Number one, my favourite, Reese's Pieces. I love Reese's Pieces, man.
Yeah, that's been mentioned before. Another good top one was Bueno as well.
Oof,
that's my favourite, mate. Right, that's us done, mate. Anything for the viewers or for your sponsors?
I'd just like to thank anyone who supports me, buys tickets, shares, likes, comments. I appreciate it. Really want to shout out to my sponsors as well. Just go through them quickly. Fistral Beach Bar, Fistral Hotel, Bertie O'Flanagan, Steve's a Tattooist, Barber Lounge, Craftworks, DNS Interiors, Ocean Construction. And that's it, I think. Thanks to those guys. Check them out. And yeah, they're all in Newquay area, so that's sweet.
Mate, you shouldn't even need a job with all them sponsors.
I just get free haircuts and free tattoos, pretty much.
Yeah. Right, Brad, thank you very much for your time. I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you, mate. Cheers. Thank you.